Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be going through and completing the Shock Absorber quest by the end of this episode. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we're going to be working on a couple of things. One of the things that we're going to work on first is actually going to be pretty easy, and it's going to be like a must-do, because we're going to have to get certain materials from completing that quest to be able to complete the other quest. So let's take a look at those quests. First thing, we're going to go in line here, is the pressure chamber valve. This is a really easy quest to complete. As long as you have some iron and some gunpowder, you should be good. And we're going to need this in order to get some quartz. Now, we're going to need quartz to be able to complete the shock absorber quest, because this is actually additions. And actually additions requires quartz. So, in order to obtain that, let's go ahead and get started with our first section, which is the pressure chamber valve. Very simple thing to make. All we're going to need is some compressed iron. I do believe that's what it's called. So I'm going to take 4 stacks of iron, because we'll need this later on. We're going to grab our gunpowder, and then I'm also going to grab some sand. I'm going to grab a stack of sand. We don't need much stuff, but we do need some TNT. Now, lovely TNT. All we need is 1. And we're going to need a lever. I'm just going to use a simple lever to activate this thing. Let's grab this. And now what you want to do is make sure that your chunk is actually claimed. You want to make sure your land is claimed that you are building on, and make sure that your protection is on, which it is. By default, the anti-griefing protection is on, which means that TNT will not blow up your base. Same with creepers, they will not blow up your base. So I'm going to place that here. And then around this, I'm just going to throw all this, if I cannot pick it up. I'm just going to throw this on the ground nearby, light the TNT. Now, we do want to get away, or prime the TNT, and then we just kind of stand back. And then right here is what you get in return. Now, it does consume, as you can see, it does consume a little bit, so it did eat almost a whole stack of iron during that process, because we did have 4 stacks. But that is perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and grab some glass. And we're going to make a pressure chamber, we're going to make a pressure tube. And then we're going to use this tube to make the valve. So if we search up pressure, we're going to see there's a lot of pages. We're looking for the pressure chamber valve, which means we need a pressure chamber wall, which we get a bunch of these for that. And we just add a pressure valve to it, or a pressure tube to it. And we get a pressure chamber valve. Now, we want to keep these items because we will have to use them later on. They are used in another quest progression that is going to be taking us through Pneumaticraft. But for right now, we can complete this quest and then get the items that we need to be duplicating. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and open up our quest book. And right here we see the pressure chamber valve. Let's go ahead and drop this in here to complete it. And then we'll claim our rewards, and this is the items that we get. Now, I'm pretty sure every single one of these can be duplicated inside the resource generator, which is going to be very, very needed. Now, I do want to take this and actually make another resource generator, and I think we have the materials to do so. We have max power over here, like 3 million RFs with this thing setting at. But let's go ahead and knock these off. We're going to throw that in, and I'm going to get quartz going as soon as I possibly can. And we'll throw this in here as well. So I'm going to extend these drawers as well. I'm going to have stuff at the top. I think I can put one more layer that I can reach on the top. Eventually, all of this stuff will go inside a refined storage network. But for right now, this is all I have. So this is what I'm going to go with. But let's go ahead and get the other thing ready. I think all we need to make another one is some wood, right? I think it was 3 pieces of wood just to make another resource gen. We need 5 blocks of iron, a little bit of power. I think we can probably make more than this. Let's make 5 more. We'll probably make 2 of them, just to be on the safe side. And then we need blocks of redstone, 2 of them. Now somebody was telling me, why don't I duplicate blocks of redstone? Well, you can't. You can only duplicate certain items, and you're limited to those few items that you can duplicate. Because really you only need to duplicate a few items. There's no need to duplicate redstone block when you can already do redstone. It makes no sense to do that the other way. So let's go ahead and craft this up. Okay, it should be like this. And that's 1. And then this one's actually going to cost a little bit more power because we are slowly but surely increasing the amount of power needed for each of these processes, right? So now we have a row of these. We're going to need to make some more furnace generators, in which we do have the blocks for that. So, furnace gens, let's go ahead and get you going. We just need, what, 2, we need a few regular gens, or regular furnaces anyways. There we go. And generator, redstone, I think we have everything we need, right? 2 of those. Perfect. Okay. So with this on the back, what we can do is we can go ahead and actually route the pipes on the back to feed the bottom here charcoal as well. Because we are producing more charcoal at the moment than our generators are actually using. Believe it or not. That is a thing, and we are actually doing that. So, chest-wise, let's grab some chests. I'm going to continue to use iron chest for this. They just work really good. You could alternate trap chest and regular chest if you wanted to. You don't go here. What are you doing? There we go. Perfect. So now all we gotta do is get some wood going on the front. And we should be good. So drop that here. Let's get those frames going. I think it was only 2 frames we needed, right? Because we only made 2 more. Right? And we can throw that black quartz here. And, I mean, we're going to need a bunch of quartz. I think we're doing pretty good on the quartz, though. Let's throw that there. What do I want to duplicate here? What would be a good thing to duplicate? I mean, we'll probably need this later on. We do have quite a bit of iron. So I'm just going to throw some coal in here. Let that duplicate some coal. Can never have enough. And there we go. This is looking good. We're generating everything we need. So the next step is going to be producing power. And we're going to need a bit of power. Because we're going to be moving into the shock absorber. Now the shock absorber requires, yeah, that's right, empowerment. So we're going to need all of these items to be able to empower stuff. So one being flint. Luckily enough, we can actually make flint with gravel. And I think we can probably swap this out for gravel. Does that produce gravel? Yes, it does. So let's actually produce some gravel, because that's something we don't really have much of. So there we go. Now we're producing the gravel, so we'll have flint at hand. And we should be good to go. So, the empower. What all does the empower require? Well, you're going to need display stands, aesthetic quartz, and we're actually going to need an atomic reconstructor. The atomic reconstructor is actually pretty easy to make. Now that we have black quartz, we can go ahead and take a piece of this. We already have the iron on us. And we can actually make the machine frame. So one thing we can do this and say atomic reconstructor. It'll add it to our list. That'll make it a little easier for us to get around and find. And there we go. We have an atomic reconstructor. Now I do want to put this on a different area. I think I might throw it over here. So the atomic reconstructor by default is automatically on. Let's grab a redstone torch. And we'll flip this to pulse mode. And what I want to get for it is actually a pressure plate. Just a regular wooden pressure plate. This is only going to allow items to go in front of it to be changed. Okay. So at the moment we're waiting for quartz blocks. That's all we're going to need, because to get the actual empower up and running, I've done the math before, but we need 5 display stands, right? So 5 display stands. So we need 30 blocks of quartz to get started, and those will be split into 15 apiece. And I'm sure by now we have close to 30. So there's 32. We only need 30. I'll just throw that in there. Perfect. So let's split this. So one section is going to get chiseled, which we can use a chisel for. It's going to get this chiseled quartz block here. And the other one's going to get aesthetic quartz, which needs some power. The best way to power this is honestly going to be hooking up another furnace generator. We're going to be using those furnace generators a lot. I mean a lot. So let's go ahead and make another furnace generator. So all you can do is you can add the little slash there, and it'll pull up the furnace generator. Right here. Come on, there we go. We're missing some iron. That's okay, we'll grab another stack of that. And we'll make the furnace generator. And this is going to honestly be the fastest way for us to, get power to this machine. There we go. So we'll let that build up a little bit. We don't need too much for this to turn over. I don't know what the power rating is. It requires 10. Yeah, we could probably already do it. Oh, did I turn that to the wrong thing? This is the aesthetic quartz. This turns it to the green. Okay. So yeah, we need aesthetic quartz, which is the normal turned, and the chiseled quartz converts into the green. There we go. And that will be used for our display stands. So let's take a look at that. Alright, empower. Right here. Display stands. Fairly nice, fairly easy to use. But we are going to need some redstone. And I already have a stack worth, which I'm going to use. And we'll convert that over now. Perfect. And I think we're also going to need a little bit of iron turned as well. So I'll go ahead and turn some iron. I'm almost positive we're going to need iron. Perfect. Now we have a nori. We have redstonia. We're good to go, right? We're also going to need some gold. Just turned into nuggets. Perfect. And let's get this started. It's a very simple process. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time. And sometimes people may think, yeah, well, it seems a little bit challenging at first. But to be honest, it's really easy once you get it set up the first time. Alright, so let's just go ahead and build this. We need a bunch of these basic pieces, which is what I'm going to make. These all get surrounded with gold. There we go. 16 of those. That should last us a little while. The Empower itself requires all these display stands, which is going to be 5 of them, one of which is actually going to be used for the main part, the actual, where everything's going to be centralized and crafted. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is the one we're going to be making here. It's going to require some iron casings. Let's grab another stack of iron. Very iron heavy, by the way. Let's actually just add this to the list. The Empower. There we go. We're going to need 2 of those. 2 of the casings. And the battery. This is going to be a double battery. So right now we have a single... We can make a single battery. Oh, we're out of redstonia. So we've already used up all of our redstone. It's fine. We'll throw some more. There we go. We'll let that build up. And that is still building up power. I think we'll need it later on, so I would not worry about it. I'll just kind of leave it, let it do its thing. And then we need a double battery, which is pretty much the exact same thing. And then we can actually make the stand. So now we have the Empower. All ready to go. And we'll actually set this up over here as well. So in the middle will be our actual Empower stand. And then 2 blocks away in each direction will go our display stands. This is going to need to be moved. This is unfortunately in the way. We can throw this over here. It doesn't really matter. At this point, we're just using this. Knock that into pulse mode. And yeah, we're going to have to route power under here. We'll do that eventually. We're not worried about it so much right now. We'll get power to this soon. Each one of these display stands hold power, and we're going to have to route power underneath it. But we'll do that in a second. But first, let's start worrying about some other things. So, now that we have this set up, we're going to need some way of getting some power to this. And we can use the furnace generator. But like I said, the furnace generator, I mean, it does make power, but it doesn't make that much power. There are upgrades, but for right now, we only need to do a couple processes, so potentially only using this may work. But we got to remember, each one of these holds, I think, 50,000 RF piece. So we're going to technically need 200,000 worth of RF. Which, I mean, the one furnace generator may work. We'll find out. But we may end up making 4 of them. 1 for each display stand. And just hooking it to the side. That may... I don't know. I think that's going to be the best way. To be honest. Alright. Furnace generators. Let's grab some more redstone. Where are you at? Furnace generator. And yeah, we've almost got everything. I think. We're getting pretty close. There's 4. There's 4 furnace generators. We're gonna need... I'm gonna grab 4 stacks of coal, since coal generates super fast. And we're just gonna throw this to the back of each one. Fill it up. That's gonna give power over here. And it's gonna give direct power. And there we go. Now, we need to put items in here, and what item that we're going to need for the shock absorber, the main thing is obsidian, which we don't have access to yet. And the empowered void crystal. Now, obsidian, we're going to need blaze for the obsidian. And I'll go over how to get blaze here real soon. But I think this is one of the, once we get 1 obsidian, we can duplicate it. I'm trying to think of what the best way to go about doing this is. And it's probably the pure daisy route, but then again, we don't have any way of getting it. The Igneous Extruder route, that's probably going to be the best way. Yeah, totally. We'll have to do the Ignis Extruder. And once we get 1, we're good to go. But using our bucket of lava, we can make lava later on. That's not an issue, I don't believe. Right? So... if we're going to make some lava, we can make lava with a squeezer. So that is not something that I'm too worried about. So we'll definitely get an Ignis Extruder going. Let's actually worry about that now. We can go ahead and that way we can get it duplicated. And while we let those power up. Okay. Extruder. So the Ignis Extruder does require power now, and it also is going to require Invar. And Invar is going to require a induction smelter, or actually a kiln, an alloy kiln. It's been a while since I've made the alloy kiln, but I can go ahead and do that because I don't know if there's a normal recipe for this. Is there? Invar dust? Oh, there is. So pulverized iron and nickel, and we can make a pulverizer. That's super easy to make. Alright, so we need a tin gear, which we have everything for. Tin gear, make a bunch of those. And then we're going to need... what else do we need? This is for a pulverizer. Flint and copper gears, and a piston, which is just redstone, cobblestone, and some wood. Let's make that. Flint, machine casing. There we go, machine frame. We have pretty much everything. Copper gears. I think those are the copper ones. And all we need now is flint. In which we should have enough. Perfect. So I hope you guys are following along. Because I know I'm probably moving pretty fast, but that's the intention of this pack, is to kind of do it as fast as possible. And I'm working on it. I'm working on getting it done as fast as I possibly can, while also trying to be as informative as I possibly can. Because that's what this map's for, is just trying to get it done as fast as possible. That's one of the goals, one of the parts of this. So let's set that here since it does have power. We'll grab some of that to give it all power. Perfect, that's giving it some power. And then we're going to crush up, what is it? Invar. Invar blend, which is 2 iron and nickel. So we'll do some nickel. We'll get that crushed up. And we'll do 32 iron. Right, 32 iron. Perfect. And we could probably set a chest up. Actually, 2 chests. One on top, one on the side. We'll configure this. Input, output. Output both. And it should output to the sides. It is going to be a little slow, but it will work. And up here we can put our 32 iron. And we'll let those blend up. So, I'll be right back once I get that blended up. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we should be fine once we get... Actually, you know what? We could probably work on the shock absorber itself. Work on this as we're working on the obsidian. So we need charcoal, flint, black dye, and stone, which we have all of those. And we can sort of clear out. So we need 4 of each. So we need 4 of each iron item, including black dye. So just like that. A few different pieces of flint. Let's get that going. So 4 flint. And then we're also going to need charcoal. Just 4. And that should be good. And last but not least, we're going to need coal. And I'm looking... Better take this out, because we're going to need to get coal producing here. Because we're going to need coal. That's what we're going to make our pieces out of, right? This right here is blocks of empowered void. We only need in void crystal. The void is actually void crystal, which is just 1 piece of coal, so we only need 4 of those. So let's go ahead and get this processed. Let's take this out. And we'll put this all in our inventory here in a second. Let's get all of this down in our inventory. We'll turn all 4 of these. There we go. We'll place this in the center. 1 here, here, and here. And thus, there we go, we've produced what we need to produce. That is the empowered. So let's repeat that process. Just like that, we should get our empowered. Keep doing this. There we go. As we wait for our Igneous Extruder, that's really the only part we're waiting for. There we go. Perfect. Not too difficult, guys. I don't know what you guys think, but there we go. There's all of our empowered void crystal. Now let's head back over here and take a look at what we have. 16 pulverized. This is not pulled out yet for some reason. I don't know why that's not considering an input chest, but it should be. For some reason, it just decided it was not going to do that today. So there we go. 2 iron to this. I'm going to get 2 more. That'll be 2 ingots of Invar. And then we can make the Ignis Extruder. Right? Extruder. It's going to require 2 Invar, copper coil. Okay, I think we have all of that. Redstone, which is going to require gold. Pretty easy to make there. The machine frame, which I think we already have the materials for it. And 2 pieces of Invar, which we're fixing to make. There we go. And we can throw this back in here as we wait. And what we'll do is we'll smelt this up. Perfect. All right, so yeah, the induction smelter, we'll get that eventually. That's not needed right now, but we will have to have it eventually. As of right now, we're working on getting a few other things to be duplicated before we move on. Let me go ahead and get all of this over here. Save some room. We have a bunch of glowstone, a bunch of quartz now, and now we have Invar. And now we have an Igneous Extruder. Perfect. Alright, Igneous Extruder, you're going to be on the back here. Since you're only making one particular item, let's go ahead and get you the bucket I need. The bucket is going to be the bucket of lava, and a bucket of water. And that is going to take a little bit of power here and produce us one obsidian, in which we're going to need this. Sorry, you're going in here, you're making some obsidian, in which we need 4 of them for the shock absorber. Perfect. And an advanced coil, which we already have. And guys, the shock absorber is complete. How cool is that? Now, the shock absorber actually prevents things from blowing up within a 5-block radius of this thing. So pretty much you can place this down, have TNT around it, and this will prevent the TNT from blowing blocks up within 5-block radius of it. How cool is that? So let's turn it in. Bam, shock absorber. We get now diamond and silver that we can now duplicate. Guys, I don't know about you, but we are moving through this really quick, and I'm really enjoying it thus far. Alright, so I can probably take off this. We don't need that much of these 2 items. And I will throw silver in there now. And I think we're ready to go. We're good. So now I can kind of clear out my inventory a little bit. Throw away some of the excess items that I have laying around in my inventory. And yeah, we're going to figure out where all to put these things. We have a few of, a little bit of everything here in our inventory. The empowered Nori stuff. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, this is what I made this little chest for here. Was for this particular stuff, but I'm going to have more drawers over here for all of our little bits and bobs. But diamond is actually going to take a little bit of power to produce. Out of everything, it does need a bit more, but it will over time produce diamonds for us, in which we're going to need for getting into the next thing, which is going to be the crafting grid. Yes, that's right, we are fixing to have a refined storage system, and I think that's going to be one of the best things to have, is a refined storage system with a couple drives, so we can just remove all of this, have a very simplified setup, pretty much in the ground almost, and not have to worry about it anymore, and I think we'd be good. So guys, I know this has been a pretty fast-paced episode, but I hope you guys were able to stay with me. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, you guys know the drill. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also ring that notification bell. It really helps out. And yeah, don't forget to like this video if you guys did enjoy it, and share with your friends. This would be a really fun pack to play with your friends together. But anyways, guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I will see you guys in the next episode.